Earbuds Podcast, presented by Headliner Music Club.
Welcome to the Earbuds Podcast, presented by Headliner Music Club. We're on episode number 2, and feels good.
Yeah, we
feels
made
good.
it. We made it.
What's up? What's up, Neil Jackson? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just getting used to, still trying to get used to this podcasting thing.
Well, it took us an hour to set up.
You never done a podcast before? I thought
it was like I was gonna come in thinking it was like streaming, but it is not.
Yeah, because I saw your stream as like a podcast like format in a way when you were streaming, because it was just like, just all convos, but talking to the chat.
Yeah, I had a lot of voices, a lot of responses, so it's kind of easy to conversate. Nice. But
do you miss streaming?
I miss streaming, but I mostly miss
you had 8 streams going on at one time.
Yeah,
you had the low down strip club stream. You had like whatever the fuck. I'm sitting here. I'm like, this guy is always on, and like it was never. You're like, dude, I'm just devoted. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to use my camera still. The shit was like foggy and blurred out, and you're like, yo, all right, we're calling people to the imaginary stripper pole over here. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This guy was so invested into it.
In New York, we had nothing to do. Nothing. Like nothing. There was nothing to do. So
I would have been like outside running if I was in New York.
Say again?
I would have been outside fucking Central Park running every day.
I mean, it was wild out there in the streets. I was doing streams. Whoa. Hello.
Hold on there.
We just did a zoom in on 5. I could see his pores.
He looks great.
I get like below, because I'm like, I'm bulking right now. It's bulking season.
Bulking season?
How are the pandas? I know 5 went on a journey to go see panda bears.
They're majestic, man. They're very cute.
Was that your first time ever seeing a panda in a zoo, or just in general?
Yeah,
in life.
I haven't gone to a zoo since I was like probably like 6-7 years old. And
I think nobody really knows, but you got to tell people what the story is, because I saw an article about like them shipping the pandas off for life. Like
so,
they're gone.
The U.S. and China's relationship hasn't been going too well, if you guys follow politics. And basically the pandas are on lease, like they're a loner. So all the pandas we had in the States, only like a few zoos have it, like San Diego, I think Tennessee, DC, and what's it called? Atlanta.
Did you do the panda? Did you do the panda tour?
Pandas. Huh?
Did you do a panda tour, or did you just?
So basically, they all got shipped back. The contracts were done, and they didn't renew it. So the pandas belong to China. So when they don't renew, the U.S. got to ship them back. So I was never seen a panda.
So if the pandas like do it here, if they have like a baby here, is that an American panda, or is that still because their parents are from
China?
That's crazy.
So we just leased them.
Yeah. We it was like a goodwill program between China and the U.S. and now things aren't like.
Do you know how long this has been going on? I'm so curious about the panda.
50 years, I think.
How many?
50 years.
Jesus. And now all of a sudden they were just like, yo, we're taking our belongings back.
The first pandas were in DC, I believe. So we're on our way there. I had this trip planned out for like maybe like a month and a half. Hotels, restaurants, dinners booked. We're booking the whole thing around it, because we're not going to see pandas all like 3 days. We go watch them for like an hour or 2.
This is when you're rich. You could just take panda trips.
And then that's how you go broke, chasing pandas. But so the week of, they announced we were going to DC to see them. They were getting shipped back early to China. So we're like, fuck, dude. Like,
so you could go chase the pandas to Atlanta.
And then and then someone was like, oh, there's still 2 left in Atlanta. I was like, for real? It's like, fuck it, we're gonna hang out in DC for like a couple days and go to Atlanta, go see pandas. And we saw them.
That's pretty amazing. Were they excited to see you, or are they just was it fun?
No, they were sleeping.
Oh,
That's what pandas do, though. They just eat and sleep, just like me.
well, that's great, man. I wish I was able to see a panda. I didn't know they were that hard to see.
Oh no, I think there's 4 pandas in Atlanta, but their contract is not up till end of 24, so they're still gonna be there for till the end of the year next year. So I might go back to go see pandas again. I
gotta find a show in Atlanta just so I can write it off and say,
hey,
I'm
like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, it would be easy for me to get there.
Sure.
I want to see the pandas. Yeah,
I'm just trying to imagine what the conversation is like between 2 governments. Like, yo, you don't want to give me trillions of dollars? Fuck y'all, give us our pandas back. We're taking these shits back.
It's like a bad girlfriend, you know. She's like, give me the dog back, and you're like, yo, this is our dog. That's so messed up, man.
But Biden and G is that his name? The president of China are having a meeting right now in SF. So hopefully they renew the deal on the pandas and we get to.
Biden's like, all right, I think we went a little overboard here.
Like, give us the pandas back.
Yeah. We'll figure
How
this out.
do we make sure the pandas stay here?
Yeah, man. But if you guys get a chance, go see the pandas at Atlanta Zoo. You know,
we'll get out there.
Not an ad. And they got other animals there too, so
I'm excited. I definitely want to try it. Let's I guess dibble dabble about anything new you guys have kind of any parties. Oh yeah, 5. Hey, I mean, that whole thing was an intro, by the way. The whole panda thing was an intro. Any parties you guys have done recently? Any markets you've visited? Any observations that have come up recently for anybody?
I was in Puerto Rico.
How was that?
That was fun. I was there for a couple days.
Is the music different in Puerto Rico than it is? What was it? Was it a club or a private event or what was it?
A club. I did a Halloween party at a resort.
What is Puerto Rico like in terms of? Where would you? Is it similar to something here?
They told me, open format, Vegas style, blah blah blah. But I've played in Puerto Rico, like many years back, and they've told me the same thing. And I went and did, Vegas open format set, and it didn't work. So I went this time with the same mentality because I was prepped for Bad Bunny and all the reggaeton set, and it was basically 80% reggaeton
Latin
and Latin music, and 20% was not even like pop. Like they just it's either house or Latin music.
No hip hop.
No.
Wow.
No hip hop. Like I was trying to play just hit him with bangers. It just didn't go.
That's crazy. I thought that
didn't really work out there.
The Drake records didn't work?
No.
Wow. I thought
my set was an hour and a half, so I'm like, you know what, man? I'll just go on autopilot and just drop Bad Bunnies. They really all they want to hear is Bad Bunny.
Really?
He's like
it's crazy. I mean
he's from there.
I don't know why I'm surprised by that, but I'm just
no, it's not all Bad Bunny, but I think I just played it safe. And I just played Mad Bad Bunny, but there's other Wiser.
What other Puerto Rican artists are there out there?
There's a lot, like Daddy Yankee.
There's a female. No, I'm saying isn't there a female artist that just came out that's Puerto Rican?
Becky G or
no, Carol G. She's not Puerto. Is she Puerto Rican?
One of the G's is I think we talked about G's. One of the G's are
here we go. Can't wait to get flagged on some of these. Somebody's gonna get us. Speaking of the parties and private parties, I did one in Palm Springs. It was for a high-end wedding, and I'm not sure if you guys ever got booked for I think when people book us for weddings, for the most part, I usually tell them heads up, I'm not going to do the announcement part.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't done it. I used to do weddings way when I first started. That's how I got into DJing, was mobiles, many people, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to cut the cake and announce that properly, or even talk formally on a microphone. I'm really bad at formally
why
speaking.
Would you cut the cake?
You got to give like a whole speech about cutting the cake. Like, this represents two sides of life, and this side, the chocolate and the vanilla or whatever. I don't know. But there's a whole formula.
That's too much work. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole formula to this. And then like pronouncing people's names properly. If you do the wrong thing, like everyone gets pissed off. So I always say like, hey, I'll do the wedding, but I'm going to do the party part. Like once you guys get done with everything after the band or whatever. So I got booked for this wedding. And it was like a really high-end wedding. It was at the Coachella Fairgrounds. So you can imagine like how massive this is. And by the way, Palm Springs is amazing in the fall. I didn't know that was like a destination for people to like.
It's beautiful out there.
Old people go or rich people go. And they put me in this like fucking 20-star resort. I mean, this thing was just everything. Villas. And I'm sitting there and my instructions were basically like, hey, just play like we want like a Rager set. Like Rager, like we want this to, like, and I'm talking to the groom. He's like, dude, I want this to be a huge party. I want people to like remember this for life. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. But just, are there any parameters? Like, do you what kind of music? He's like, do exactly what you guys do at the club. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I got my set time. My set time is 11 until 3, but it was daylight saving. So it's technically almost 4 a.m. And I'm like, I don't think that people like interpretations of people partying and like what people want for people like at a wedding never ever comes to like fruition. Like it's never. Anytime I've ever got booked for a wedding, they're like, we want this to be this Rager, and they put us on, and it's like, dude, they've been drinking since 8 a.m. getting ready, getting dressed, like. And I know I did my best, but just to see like, they had me booked for basically 4 hours. I played for 2, and then everyone was eating In-N-Out burger, and they were like just done. Like, their eyes were rolling in the back of their head at that point because they've been drinking all day. But I just find it really funny. But like you were saying, the interpretation of people when they say music, like, hey, play club, play like what you do in Vegas. There's so many different interpretations of what Vegas is because the way I perceive Vegas or you perceive Vegas or somebody else on the, in Columbus, Ohio perceives Vegas is totally different. And I think that's like, a very, I guess you just got to be aware of when people are asking for a certain style and a certain way of doing things. Because even when I was going in on a set, I'm like, it feels really weird playing Sexy Red at this wedding right now. Like, like I was doing what they asked, but at the same time, I'm like, this, the older people were gone and the parents were gone, but even the kids, like, they don't go to clubs, so they weren't up on that. So then you kind of go like, scale it back, and all they wanted was Cascade at the end.
Wow.
And it worked, but
easy.
What'd you say?
Easy.
Yeah, it was easy, but I just feel like these interpretations of when people say they want stuff, you just really gotta step back and try to figure out and like decode what they mean, because I think that's a very even when it comes to like private events and stuff like that, they're like, play open format. I don't know what open format they refer to.
Right,
does that mean like play Journey, or does that mean just play pop music or hip hop? Like sometimes we do rooms and they're like, play open format. That just means hip hop. It's like that's code for hip hop.
I've always took in recent times took open format as just EDM hip hop.
Yeah,
like, that's
what
literally
it became, really.
Format.
That's what it
Yeah, but then when you say real, like, so now if you do a room and they want rock music, would you say that's really open format, or would you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm like? If I played a show and 5, you came in there the next weekend, you're like, what do they like there? And I was like, oh, you can go really open format. Is that the best way of interpreting that, or?
Yeah, when you say really, like, because that's like a lot of New York clubs that I went to, like when I was out there, like a lot of disco house, actual like just rock songs, like not even remixes, into like rap. And
see,
like
I couldn't even get away with that.
Yeah,
it's in most places
is so like diverse. Like the way people DJ in New York right now are so like just all over the place, and it works for New York. But if I try that out in Vegas, I'll probably get a bad report. Probably, it's like
kindly escorted.
That happened. Yeah, I definitely did that.
Jerzy, and he went right into Rich Baby Daddy, into Tiesto.
You gotta do that to get your street cred back. Like you kind of have to play that, whatever. Like I think last week or last episode we were talking about playing Hillary Duff, and like I was like, man, how am I gonna get out of this to get my street cred back? So I was the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, I gotta come back out here with something, let them know I'm real.
Play Metro Boomin, the second part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There was a DJ in New York that actually brought that up. Was like, yo, I listened to the podcast. He played the part too. I don't.
By the way,
I remember when he was on the side of me, and all I could look at it, all I could see was. No joke. I was like, dog. When I heard that, I almost died.
Dude, yeah. Well, I also, just speaking of the last podcast, I have to apologize to Salt Lake City. I didn't mean to offend anybody on the Subaru comment. That was observation. I didn't mean everybody drives a Subaru. Certain people drive Subarus, and they're great cars. I did some research on them. They're 4-wheel drive. I think that's the reason why. But
yeah, Allie wants a Subaru.
I know she does. She wants a Subaru because they were at the auto show here and they had puppies and on display, and to get people to that the Subaru station, I guess, whatever.
Great marketing. Yeah,
Subarus. Hey, much love to Salt Lake City and much love to Subarus. Moving on. F1 Las Vegas. I know 5 you are about to head there, and I think when this episode airs, we've already been there. I go tomorrow. Is there, Neil? I mean, Neil, you're in New York. Is there any hype for it over there? Is it a boom or bust? Like,
No.
Are people talking about it? Is it anything is it overhyped, or what do you think?
I mean, I'm not like the biggest F1 person. I haven't really heard too much about it outside of like certain hospitality groups heading out there.
Yeah.
But like, is it Coachella? No. Is it, Lollapalooza? No. Like people in the street aren't talking about it. At least I haven't heard anybody talking about it. That might be more of a Midwest West.
I think I know the one in Miami.
Yeah.
I think any F1 on a weekend, they're getting like over 200,000 plus people per day at these things.
Yeah.
So,
if anything, F1 for us would probably be bigger in Miami than it would be in Vegas.
Yeah. I'm seeing,
it's according from what I'm hearing from everyone, it's like a mess. It's like traffic, this and that. It's the first
Super Bowl.
So who knows how it's gonna go? But yeah, I'm playing 3. I got 3 gigs there this weekend. So 2 are like kind of like, one, I'm probably gonna be more background music, I think, because I'm at one of the decks right in front of Bellagio, and we're outside, like at the deck, like where you can watch the race. But that's tomorrow, so I think it would be like practice or qualifying. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I didn't know they go on at night too. So like, here's another thing that there's a few things I've been reading about. Hotel rooms have dropped a lot.
Oh yeah,
they like basically priced out a lot of people, and I think tickets also dropped like by 50%. That was crazy. And then I didn't know it was at night. So what's going to be crazy about that is they have all these clubs going on, all these shows. Like these clubs kind of went out with these after parties.
It'll be done by 11.
No, the race. I think the race starts at. It doesn't. It start at like. It starts late. I think it starts at. Yeah, I could have sworn some of the stuff goes until like midnight or 1 a.m.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say like there's the qualifying, there's like preliminary rounds and all these practice rounds and all these stuff, but all this stuff is like later at night, and they said it was going to whatever midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever. So I mean, potentially all these things get pushed back, and
I don't understand why they have. If are you guys DJing during the race?
No.
Okay,
I'm doing a show with
one of the shows,
private show.
One of the gigs is club hours. Eric and I are doing Saturday night, and then I have like a bunch of shows, like a bunch of private stuff. So
okay, I have done an F1, and like those are the loudest machines I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, we're just at F1 in Austin. Me and Eric were a month ago.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about
F1 activities because they do it outside the city. So
it is so loud. I did one overseas, and it's a lot. I was doing it from, no joke, it felt like a skyscraper on the top.
Oh wow!
You could hear that thing like it was in like right on top of the roof.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It says times. I'm looking at time. I'm trying to look at times right now online. Oh no, they're military time. So 20.
10 p.m. and they go 62 laps. Is it?
I don't. It says okay. It says
know.
CET, PET. So PT Pacific
PT
time
is-
2200, which is
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna go until pretty late, right?
Yeah.
These are all pretty late. I mean, it's just gonna be. It's gonna be an interesting thing, and I think they have a contract for a few years in Vegas. So I wonder just how this is going to affect other things. And
I think it's going to be good for the city, to be honest, man. Anything that brings tourism is going to be great. So,
yeah.
and then, yeah, a lot of work
Cool.
for everyone.
I think it's going to work, man. We're all working, so can't complain about that. Moving on to the charts, just to go over these real quick. HMC charts, top tracks, the Peggy Goo. And the Yeahs. I actually love that song. That's a good edit. That's a very
yeah. I just downloaded
Rudy
it.
J. Yeah. That's a really good one.
J makes it's Rudy J
and Bronze,
right?
the Bras, Bras.
They make really dope edits.
Drake, Sexy Red, Rich Baby Daddy. The new City Girls, Juicy J. Is anyone playing that? The fancy ass bitch. Is it? Is it going off?
Filler right now, but I play it when I'm in that range, that 80.
It is 79. Yeah.
Wait, which one?
It's called Fancy Ass Bitch.
It samples UGK, that UGK record. You know the one.
It has a good beat to it. I like it.
Yeah, it's the UGK sample.
I have a crate in my Serato. It's just called New Hip Hop Hold. So I'll download records and I'll just I just store them in there, and then I'll go back and be like, if I like something, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it, I'll have it. But most of that hip hop is like just doesn't pop off. So I just delete it eventually. But that's in that crate. So I was wondering if anybody actually.
I mean,
played it.
I haven't messed with anything from City Girls, the new album, yet. So I guess Fancy Ass Bitch is probably the one that's going to be.
Yeah, that's the one right now. So
Fancy Ass Bitch. Okay. Yeah. Rihanna, Where Have You Been? Is number 5.
Yeah, that's a big room edit. You can just.
It's a
that.
Tiger Toast.
Yeah, remix. Tiger Toast also makes really dope edits. A lot of big room stuff.
Diplo Express Yourself, a Pickle 2023 edit remix. That's at number 6. Drake Daylight. I didn't even think that was a song that was. We never even talked about Daylight. Is that a song that you guys are touching?
I have not touched it.
It's in my hip hop playlist. I played it once or twice. But,
okay. Jack Harlow, Lovin' on Me. I like that record.
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet, but I do like that record.
Yeah, me too.
He actually has a hook in a song. He's never. I don't think he's ever put. All of his songs never have hooks, and that actually has a good.
Wait,
it sounds like a good radio record. Huh?
A what?
Jack Harlow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovin' on Me.
Lovin' on Me. It came out like Monday.
Okay.
Friday.
You know what? I'm confused. I was talking about Industry Baby, but that wasn't. He was featured.
No.
Yeah.
It sounds like Motto and
yeah.
What's the other one?
Yeah, it does sound like Motto with that higher energy though.
He took the Motto beat and just like kind of dressed it up.
Yeah.
It sounds great. I love it. Yeah. The Weeknd, The Hills, Brilliant 2023 remix, Nova edit. That's another one. And then number 10, we'll just stop there at Empire of the Sun and A Craze, Walking on a Dream. So not sure if you guys are touching those.
That's the A Craze record with what's it called? Those it's a dope record. It just came out.
Empire of the Sun on it. Yeah.
What's it called?
Heard Like That? Heard Like this?
Yeah, Heard Like That with Joey Valence and Bray.
Yeah.
Those dudes are dope, man.
Dude, I love them.
They're not
it's like
for the
Beastie
club.
Boys. Yeah.
They sound like Beastie Boys. Yep.
I play them in a lot of I DJ for the Blackhawks, so a lot of the Blackhawks games, like it's great. It's good energy. It's like old 90s, like I think it touches a lot of different genres, but I was kind of curious when they came out. I started listening to them. They performed at Lollapalooza last year and they were starting to bubble, and I was like, I wonder what this crowd would be. Does it touch more of an older crowd,
or like
where
college, right?
What'd you say?
I feel like they would be big in like the college scene.
Yeah, but it also connects with the older people that love Beastie Boys. But I mean, they really do sound like Beastie Boys.
You know how some of the old heads are though, man. It's like, oh, are they trying to sound like Beastie Boys?
The old guys that I talk to, they're like, yo, I kind of like this because this is something they can relate to, compared to the new hip hop where they're just like, anytime a record comes out, they're texting me, they're like, yo, what do you think? I'm like, dog, I'm like, I don't know. It's just,
man, I know some Beastie Boy fans that will throw up if you say something like that. They won't even, there'll be no conversation.
Coming from the New York guy, yeah, I can't really speak on that. Going to the Billboard top charts right now, Cruel Summer, Taylor Swift. I some reason, like, I like that song, but I feel weird. Maybe it's just me, but do you ever play like summer records or something with summer, has something to do with summer theme in the winter or fall? Like I feel like, you know, like funny? Justin Timberlake Summer Love, I would only play in the summer. I don't play that in the spring.
Because I was playing somewhere. It was I forgot where it was. And I was in like, you know, in like the EDM big room house, and I was just going down the playlist and I saw Summertime Sadness like edit. Now I picked it and I'm like, oh wait, hold on. It's like it's fucking summer's over, and I kind of I skipped it. So.
Yeah, that's another one. But that's another song that I'm like, I'll go in and I'm like, all right. And when it's summertime, I'm like, I'm playing it. I'm like, you know, seeing if anyone makes that connection. Maybe it's just me.
I think it's definitely you. I'll play Summertime Sadness in the dead of winter.
That's true.
You have no soul, man. You have no soul.
I don't make them. I just play them, and I just crank it out.
I love that. I love that. So where are we at? Okay, Paint the Town Red. Okay, Cruel Summer's number one. Paint the Town Red. Doja Cat. Do you guys play that in a club? No. Yes.
I have. It's a tricky song though. I know it's big.
It goes off.
The energy just. I don't know where to go in and get out of that thing. Like I think in a primetime set.
Yeah, if you're doing, I mean, I just played at Floor Room actually a couple weeks ago.
That's perfect for Floor Room though.
But it was a country night. It was for
a country night at Floor Room.
That's a twist.
Oh, I got a country question for you though. Do you play Jelly Roll?
I have an edit from our boy Chris Diesel from Nashville that he did.
Oh, what's up, Diesel?
That's
Diesel.
one.
So Jelly Roll, I feel like he just did I'm not sure if you guys saw his speech at the Country Music Awards. It was pretty inspirational, and a lot of people, it kind of went viral.
Yeah,
and a lot of people I don't think that listened to him started getting exposed to his music, and his song right now is charting at number. He has a song on the charts somewhere in here. But I was kind of surprised to see that. Like, I wonder if that's an art. Oh, no, Save Me at number 22. It's not that high, but I feel like he's an artist that is slowly making a big statement.
Yeah, he was popping. Like, he was definitely popping in the country scene. But yeah, I haven't seen that speech, so I'm not sure. But yeah, that's good for him, man. He's dope.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Okay, I think that's good enough for the top 10. I mean, most of the stuff in Billboard, not really club records. Luke Combs, a lot of country stuff still.
A lot of country stuff on Billboard.
Tate McRae, Greedy.
What is that?
It's like a pop record. She's doing SNL actually this week. Yeah.
Wait, where? Oh, we're okay. We're at Billboard.
Yeah, Billboard. Okay. I got. What else do we have here?
But what's crazy is Drake is nowhere to be found.
Drake is up there.
No, Drake wasn't in the top 10.
Oh no, yeah,
dude. Drake, last time we recorded, that was the only thing in the top 10.
He was the whole chart. We just remember we said we were talking about it. We're like, is this kind of one of those honeymoon phases where like an album comes out and they take all the top spots and then it does a correction the following week.
Yeah.
It definitely did. TikTok charts. Misky, Love Mine, All Mine. That's not a club record. I listened to that. There's one that's a club record called Lil Mabu.
What?
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
really, dude. It's, you know what this is? It's called Mr. Take Your Bitch.
No.
It kind of goes off.
I'm
It's
not
another
gonna lie. I think that track is hot. Actually,
you know it. So you know it, right?
yeah. I
Okay.
know Lil Mabu, not
I don't
personally, but he's been clocking in.
He's been an
streams
inspiration for
quite
you
a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea. It's number 2 on this TikTok chart,
Lil
which is
Mabu?
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, did you guys know in TikTok you can do like a viral 50 and a top 50?
Oh.
You could pull up everything that's just a little. It took me some time to figure that out, but it's pretty cool. Another one is Monaco, Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Monaco was.
Wait, where are we? Are we on TikTok Billboard's top 50?
No, just TikTok.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just going down the top 10.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading over some of these songs that kind of popped up. Also, It Girl, is that the Aaliyah interlude?
Yeah.
That's the one you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. It's a house.
Jack Harlow, number 5, Loving on Me. So I think I was kind of shocked on this Lil Mabu, Mr. Take Your Bitch, because it's definitely a club record. It sounds pretty cool.
Nice. I'm not even on my radar.
Yeah.
But
Lil
add it right
Mabu,
now.
yeah. He's got what track is it that I play? It's Mathematic.
It's not Mr. Take Your Bitch.
No, Mathematical Disrespect.
Mathematical Disrespect.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a
Okay.
white dude.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Caucasian, man. Caucasian.
Caucasian.
I stayed away from that.
I'm
I
gonna
will
step
be
in
the
on that.
only one left on this.
This is where I'm gonna step in on that one. That's where my line is. Okay, so trending artists right now. Offset's album came out. City Girls. We talked about City Girls a little bit. You said we were gonna play that one from City Girls. Anything from Offset's album?
B?
Anything? Offset dropped a lot. Like he had a lot of songs.
I mean,
Well,
his
yeah, I like
album's
that.
got like 40 songs on it.
Yeah, but like they were all on those playlists, and
Yeah,
Broad
I
Day.
like Dope Boy.
What about Broad Day?
No, Broad Day with Future. I like that he had a couple 90 BPM records, like the Freaky with Cardi and the
Jealousy with Cardi. Oh, Freaky too. Yeah. See, I'm looking right now.
Freaky with Cardi.
He has,
That's
and then
90,
Say My
92.
Grace was another one.
But still, for me, just I don't know the places I play at. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but they're kind of would be fillers.
Neil, are
now.
you playing them any of those rooms?
I've done Say My Grace, did well. The album's not that big. I mean, it's a dope album. Say My Grace is probably the one that I'm doing. I mean, it's the one that I've done.
Yeah.
It's the safest bet. I mean,
So-
even though I know Worth
So
It
Broad
has been,
Day
like,
and
charting.
the one with Future is not worth even.
Oh, Say My Grace with Travis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think anything
that's
in
the one that's on all the curated playlists too.
Yeah, anything with Travis, you can play a Getaway with in New York too.
I like
Well, the Future record with Broad Day.
I like Dope
Offset?
Boy with Young Nudie.
Okay,
I added that. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but I think it will work well.
I'm
If you
hoping
do like
Blame It on Set is does well. I heard it. I was
We
like,
should-
oh,
We shall see.
Oh.
The Drake
Oh.
album. Any circling back on any of those records that are starting to bubble a little bit better from
Apparently
when we talked
Daylight.
about? Yeah, Daylight is charting. I had no idea.
I mean, Rich Baby Daddy. That's the one off the album. You know.
No one plays a J. Cole, right? Am I crazy here? Like, is that not? I mean, it's a
I
good
haven't-
song,
I
but
listened
not
to
for a
it.
club.
I don't.
Yeah, but
I
not for a
haven't
club,
played it.
right?
but are you watching the memes on IDGAF?
Yeah, that's another one. That's
yeah.
charting on Billboard right now.
I mean, it's
It's charting at number 21 on Billboard.
Oh wait,
I actually like that record,
Yeah.
the Yeet one. That's the one
Yeah.
with Yeet. Yeah,
it's sick.
You're playing that, right? More on the
Yeah, it's big. It's big. It's big over here.
yeah.
It's the biggest streaming song on his album right now.
the
Kids Love
ID.
Heat, man.
IDGAF. with
That's
Yeet.
the biggest streaming song.
Yeet?
Wow.
Yeah, it's at 127,752,000.
How do you see that? Where do you even get that from?
On Spotify?
Oh,
You just click on the album and it'll
I'll
tell
check
you
on that platform. I didn't know about that. Monaco by Bad Bunny seems to be everywhere these days. It's on every single, like, it seems like everyone's posting that as a song, just that doo 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 whatever part. But
Which one?
I'm done. The Monaco song.
Oh yeah. No, that song is definitely Monaco Fina off.
Those are the ones
Bad
that go
Bunny?
off of Bad Bunny. Fina? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Fina.
all
With,
things Spanish I'm staying away from.
Well,
And
no,
Caucasian. Caucasian and Spanish. You're just
Like,
staying
I
away. Is that what it is?
cannot say any of that.
When I
Wait,
got to Puerto
Fina.
Rico, one of the DJs hit me. I was like, "Oh, you got to play this song."
What is it called? Fina?
Fina, Fina.
Fia? Okay, so that Un Preview is not a song that anyone's playing anymore.
I played it, but yeah, it didn't. I just kept it safe and just
Fina. Okay. Fina
Bad
is
Bunny, Wizen. But yeah, anything Puerto Rican, every Puerto Rican artist, man, they sing to all of it.
well, that's I do not
Puerto
know.
Rico.
Yeah, that's what I guess what it is. What else do we have here? All right. Let's do a quick picks real quick. Top 5 records that you're feeling. I think we kind of covered some of them.
Yeah.
You guys want to go? Who wants to start it off between you two?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Top 5 songs, but I, for the most part, don't know if they're gonna work in clubs. Say My Grace, Offset works.
Yeah.
I was a big 41 fan with oh my god, what was the song? Why am I drawing a
The one
blank?
you said just came out?
41?
No, wait 1 second.
41. Can you do something for me?
Oh man.
With Bent, that was the one I was a big fan of.
Oh,
last
you
month,
talked about
and
that last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still a big fan of it now. But they just dropped Stomp. 2 stomps.
Stomp. Okay.
Is it a
And-
drill Jersey Club type record too?
No. It's a slower track.
Oh, nice.
This is what kind of audience like would play this type of record, you think?
The kids.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, we're not playing it at a big room and that hasn't crossed over.
No.
Okay.
No. You could usually get it with like a Travis Scott fan, like a big Travis Scott fan. It'll be the same. It'll be the same audience.
Same group of people.
Or like if you're a fan of Lil Uzi, then 41 will
Yeah.
work.
All right. So you got 41. You got
my personal fave that I'm like listening to in the gym is 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne.
Really?
The song's called Long Story. I'm always gonna be a 2 Chainz fan though. That
love
dude's lyrics are insane. But
2
yeah,
Chainz.
2 Chainz and Lil Wayne. The song's called Long Story.
Long story. Okay.
And anything from Pink Pantheress' new album.
I was just gonna say
yeah,
she just put a new
yeah.
album out.
That shit is so good.
I was
So
gonna bring
good.
that up. Where's she from?
UK.
Yeah.
UK?
Yeah.
Oh no shit. Okay. All right. 5. Top 5 for 5.
Top 5. I mean, are we talking about edits and just songs in general?
These are just records that you're feeling right now. Doesn't necessarily.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, we covered a few, but Jack Harlow, the new one, "Lovin' on Me." I like that one a lot. I think that's gonna be a big wintertime hit.
Yeah. Winter.
Wintertime hit. It might pop off like next year too.
But Neil will play that in the summer. It doesn't make a difference because
Doesn't
Neil doesn't
matter.
give a fuck. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
The Peggy and Lenny Kravitz record, Peggy Goo, Lenny Kravitz. It's got that.
That just came out, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a club record, but I like it. It's just like that. Got that like "Let Me Love You" Bieber vibes, like kind of like Old Mustard type of beat too.
Mm-hmm. The doot, doot, doot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The piano.
And,
yeah.
What else? The Hills Brilliant remix. I think we that was on the
That was in the
HMC
charts. Yeah,
chart.
it's the HMC
It's
charts.
more of a. It's not like a big room edit. It's just like kind of like a future beats kind of vibe. Like you can play like at like cool little, like Parties like Boiler Room or something. It's a dope record. Missy, Lose Control, Chopside. It's up tempo. It's 130 BPMs and it has like a electro 808 like beat to it. It's like it's a house record, but it's dope. I don't know. I played it on Fade You for this week or next week. But what else? I think Tyler Water. Tyler.
Oh man, that is so big here.
Yeah. What is it?
No,
Tyler. The artist's name is Tyler, and the song's called Water.
Yeah. There's probably like 30 remixes and edits for it already.
I just played the original. I just dropped that shit.
Yeah, the original was hot. Yeah, from the top. Right?
Tyler, Tyla.
Yeah.
All right, and that's a big New York.
Tyler Water. You could just drop that song. It's like,
is it work? He says it's working in New York too, right?
Yeah.
You can like right after you play the Home Alone song, like.
Wait, how does that go again, Jerzy? I still hear Harry Potter.
No, it's not Harry Potter.
Sing it.
For reference, just so you guys know, we were getting ready for the show, and then we were talking about holiday music, and I was like, let's bring that up next month's episode. And they're like, well, what kind of holiday music? I'm like, oh, like the Home Alone song that usually goes off. And they're like, what Home Alone song? And I started singing it, and they won't let me live it down. So,
but the people want to hear
like, from Home Alone, or was it like an old like Christmas jingle song?
It's John Williams. That's the.
Oh, so he made that for Home Alone. Because I was at the aquarium.
Yeah.
When I was on my panda tour, I went to the aquarium too, the Georgia Aquarium.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the biggest in the U.S.
They were playing that song.
They were playing that song when the Dolphins were out. I don't know.
Well, I guess the Dolphins love the Home Alone soundtrack.
Jerzy, you got it. You have to sing it for them.
I'm not singing it for anybody.
The people want to hear it.
Nobody wants to hear that.
DM Jerzy. What is it? Jerzy music. What is your?
I don't know. I have no idea. We don't have Instagram.
Tell them
anymore.
to make a post of you singing that.
I'm not singing the Home Alone song. Okay, so I'll go through my records really quick. I do like that Jack Harlow, Lovin' on Me, the Drake and the Yeet record, Bad Bunny, Monaco. I got the new David Guetta and Kim Petras.
Oh, Kim Petras, yeah.
Petras. It's called When We Were Young, and I'm not sure if you guys remember. That's an old Euro song from like early 2000s, I think. But they like sampled it. Yeah, they sampled it, and I was like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, it just brought me back. So that was more of just like a titty tickler. I really like that song.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Is that a Chicago? Both me and Five were like, wait, what?
Hey, just leave me alone. All right, and then Beach Crimes. It's called Do It Better. It's just a house record that.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's kind of cool. It's just, I don't know. It's upbeat. I wouldn't play it like big room or anything like that, but if you're playing like a restaurant or a lounge, like it had good energy to it. It's called Do It Better. That's rounding up my top 5. Let's go to top 5 open format big room or just open format room club records right now. Do you guys have what do you guys have?
I got nothing. I got Plain Jane, Motto, Usher, yeah, John, Get Low.
Hey, just so you know, this is a new segment. We're trying to do top 5, so when people are listening, they can walk away with and going like, oh man, that shit worked, or like these are kind of like, so next month we may do a top 5 of what does Neil like to listen to in the shower, or what 5 likes to listen to while he runs. No, we don't need to do that. But back to where we were going here. So 5, we got your top club records. I said Fiend and Rich Baby Daddy, the Hellcats and SRTs that Neil was talking about, and then I like that Peggy Goo and the Yeah Yeahs, that edit that we were also discussing. Neil,
open format wise, yes. I've been testing out Keisha Cole Love because that thing went viral. Did you see that?
But Love came back, I feel like in 2021,
Yeah, no, it was a big. I mean, it definitely went off on a TikTok recently again with the kids, like little.
Yeah.
But like parties like 143 and Bella's Party, all the R&B parties. That's like the song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I'm not doing R&B parties. I'm just throwing them shits in there.
It works in the regular clubs too. It's crazy.
Yeah. It just went super viral, so everybody's like, "Oh my god, the kids are singing it. I should know it," or they already know it.
It's viral now.
Yeah, you didn't see Complex even posted like that little elementary school kids were.
My 6-year-old niece, like knows that song.
Jeez, so you're playing. It's working well in just an open format. Really.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How do you follow that up though? What do you?
I just like throw any. I don't really have a built-in set. It's just like whatever's big at the time.
Yeah.
But do you mix out of it, or do you just slam
you
something?
just drop.
Oh, you just drop and just go into another big song.
Do you play the full like 2 verses, 1 verse and a hook, and that's it?
No, it's just a verse and a hook, or it's just
they just sing that part.
Yeah.
The second hook, the hook, and then boom.
And then recently, I was playing at this club called the Palace, and I went into Modest Mouse. Hold on. Take Me Out, Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
And MGMT, Time to Pretend.
I like that song.
Damn,
I like that.
word.
Time to Pretend.
The
Wow.
Body English AM set.
Really?
Yeah.
And Jet, what was Jet?
I mean, it's time to bring that whole all the throwbacks are literally from all that.
Too.
Mark my words, rock music's gonna make a comeback. Rock's making a comeback. Rock has been dead for think of how many years that like when rock music, even like the emo stuff, it's been like 20 years since rock music has really been on the forefront again. And I feel like it's coming around slowly, but we're gonna see a resurgence. If anyone was like making, Blink-182 just had a big album too.
Yeah, that was a great album.
But rock music, and what's the date today? It's November of 2023. I'm saying that in the next couple of years, rock music is going to have this huge, like we're going to be playing it more in nightclubs. It's going to come back around where people are like, yo, you got to play this rock song somewhere in your set. I just think it's timing.
Yeah. When's the last time you dropped I Love Rock and Roll? Like, I know that's been a New York staple, like open format clubs for like forever, right?
Yeah.
Like that whole like AC/DC, Back in Black, all those songs. I haven't played that set since like 2008, 6 maybe.
Yeah.
6,
yep.
I still have that crate from Body English, so I might have to. It's kind of
This stuff is coming up. It's coming back around though. Clearly,
I'm just listing a few of them off. I'm doing the Strokes again.
Yeah.
What's the Jet song? The Jet.
Are You Gonna Be My Girl? I did
Yeah,
that one. Like all of that stuff is back in New York.
We need to get somebody who loves rock music and just can tell us what songs to play that we totally forgot about.
Bring Rockticon back.
Well, right.
We gotta go track him down in Austin or some shit.
No, I mean it's all the indie rock stuff that you were into before.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go too far in. Like Morrissey may not work. I know that Eric Deluxe will probably cry. But like the surface stuff, the very surface stuff,
like
you
Pumped Up
get
Kicks.
away with.
Pumped Up Kicks was a big song.
Yeah.
Foster the People?
I mean,
MGMT.
Empire of the Sun is now doing features. Like that whole era is coming back.
You think the indie rock stuff is?
Oh yeah. I mean, those are still throwbacks.
Yeah.
I don't even know where there we go. My rock set. Here we go. Bam.
Phoenix.
Block Party Banquet.
Phoenix 1901 was my fucking shit.
The Killers.
Passion Pit.
That never left.
Passion Pit.
The Killers never really left.
The Killers never left.
Chili Peppers.
I still do Can't Stop.
Yeah. That was that whole set.
Do you guys so that's what any other open format records that's really open format records. Anything else, Neil?
No, those are the 4 or 5 that I've done that I feel work
kind of gone off
that have worked. Other than that,
man, there's so many rooms that we play though. It's just like those records might work in one room, then you go to the next room, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
But it's good to know that those are those like I think it's, if you're ever questioning like, hey, if I gotta do a rock song, if I gotta throw a couple rock records in here to get those like older dudes that are spending money at a table, which ones are they gonna sing and dance
or
at
older
table
women spending their money?
Or
Jersey.
older women spending their money.
Jesus.
Why am I always getting called out for this? I'm just
trying to keep this Spotify. I mean this podcast.
I'm gonna get a bunch
somewhat
of
in its own.
No, just like
In a
just like the
PC
Salt
lane.
Lake City things. Just like the Salt Lake City, I'm gonna get a lot of complaints. People DMing me saying, "Yo, man, there's a lot of older women that like to spend money and dance to rock music too." Sneaky slappers. It's kind of, what are some of the records recently that you have discovered that kind of went off that you would never expect to go off? I'm gonna start this off really quick. Michelle Branch, if you want to,
Banger.
yo,
Banger.
Fire.
yo, like I never thought I would say that, but it's a good song, man, and it came out of nowhere. I had somebody requested it, and I was like, I don't know what I didn't really think too much about it, and I was like, all right, I'll just throw it in. For some reason I had it, and it just went off. The girls were they were lighting it up for that one. Also, this is a kind of a curveball, like Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus.
Yeah, that was a viral TikTok thing.
Yeah,
Is it
that's actually that's popping up again.
Okay, that's really doing well. And then this is not. I mean, I just tried this record. Actually, maybe somebody requested it. It was "Love Me Harder" by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. It's a good filler, but it's a good.
The original version of The Hills is actually big again.
The slow version, like
the slow version. I think from the show, right?
The show,
his show on HBO, like
for
that, like that song.
What was it called?
Caught a buzz again. I got a couple, not like sneaky. Like I'm sure maybe a lot of DJs out there have been playing it, but I used to do this Motown set, and I just haven't done it in a while. And I was in a house set. But then I was just like, you know what? I was drunk. And I was feeling a little frisky, and I went into "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," which it's a wedding banger. Like
that's a titty tickler. Yeah,
there you go, a titty tickler.
Yeah.
And like the whole fucking club sang along. It was just like, wow. It's like one of those. It's not a sneaky banger, a sneaky slapper, but it's
but it's a good one to bring back. It's like a recurrent.
I haven't played it in so long. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot how like dope this record was. And this one I just refused to play because I hated it, and I had a request for it, and I was like, you know what, like, why not, man? I'll take requests. And I played Timber, which is it was a viral TikTok thing.
Kesha,
and yeah, it was just like, oh my god,
it went off.
It went off.
I don't think I have it.
So
wow,
Timber in Vegas. Will go off. I'm sure a lot of DJs know. We used to make fun of Epic 12 because he used to do like weddings and shit. Well, I think he still does, but we used to joke around how when he'll play Timber and he'll send us a video.
It's like proof.
No, it was like years ago. But we just like, dude, I would never play that record. I know a lot of people play it, but it's just
I didn't know. Yeah,
like
Timber, Kesha,
and you just throw it from the top. With the
right from the top.
Yeah, from the top. Don't even mix it in.
I don't know if I can download that right now. I don't know if it's on anything. I'll figure that out.
You might have to splurge and spend $1.29.
Ooh. Neil, what do you got?
I did Kanye. I Wonder. That one did well.
Can we play Kanye again?
I've been playing Kanye.
I've never stopped playing Kanye. I mean,
New York never stopped playing Kanye, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Chicago, and I feel like we kind of briefly paused.
I heard
but
R. Kelly in the club when I was in Chicago.
Oh.
R. Kelly's like, I mean, that's almost like, that's still like, Step in the Name of Love, and those records are still, I mean, it's just like those are iconic records, and I still think to this day that people are not going to, they separate the music and the person. I feel like they just kind of like, that's especially Chicago. He's kind of like, I mean, for so many years he was like really the king of R&B. for a long time when he was doing that stuff.
Man, I have not heard one R. Kelly song in New York for years.
But was he big? Years. Was he big in New York though, compared to?
Yeah, R. Kelly was like worldwide, pretty much.
I'm saying. Let me rephrase that. Was he? I don't think he was as big in New York as he was in Chicago. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he was still.
If we're able to play his music right now, how many of those R&B parties will be playing R. Kelly set? Like, it will go the fuck off.
My body's calling. Yeah,
all those. But it's just I can't do it. And like,
yeah, I can't.
Ignition. Yeah. What? So, but Kanye's. You guys have been playing Kanye again.
I mean, I'm playing with the obvious, Good Life. What's it called?
You can play old Kanye, right?
Yeah,
before he went up, like, kind of. Yeah.
Big in New York. All Falls Down.
All Falls Down. Yep.
Really?
Huge,
no shit.
Huge.
Yeah, I didn't play that for a long time, and then I wanted to go see Bella Fiasco at Flux Deluxe, and kind of dope like New York set, like, and she dropped All Falls. I was like, damn, like prime time.
Yeah, it's a big song here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I added. Shout out to Bella. I added that in my playlist. So.
I did that one. I did Through the Wire, but I did I Wonder. Went off.
Yeah,
that one.
I Wonder. Wow, I never.
And I'm glad because I love that. That's a personal favorite of mine.
That was a big pandemic streaming song for me. I used to play.
Do you do that in the middle of the night, or do you do that at the end of the night?
Me?
Yeah.
I do it at the drunk part of the night.
Drunk part. So when people don't remember, that's the perfect time to do it.
The drunk part of the night where they may or may not remember it. You guys know what that one. That's not the end, but it ain't the prime time.
I think I recall singing in that song, but I don't remember exactly.
And the last part of it, the verse part, because it's really on the back.
Yeah.
People fucking go nuts.
Damn. I wonder what else besides Kanye. Any other records that are sneaky slappers?
Sneaky slappers. I had another one that I had played that I was like, oh.
What tickles your titties? Just tell me.
What tickles your titties?
Whenever your screen goes, it looks and looks and looks and looks and looks. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's it. That's the one I feel most confident about.
Do you guys, I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think the term, because we're talking about the clubs and stuff, do you think the term club has recently become too kind of like a negative connotation for people, and not maybe necessarily for maybe just for everybody? Because when we used to say club, we used to be like, oh, we're going to the club. It was kind of the cool thing to do. But has it become kind of like, oh, you're going to a club? Is it become kind of just not the place where people want to go? Is it more like, is it kind of gone back to a lounge? Like, I'd rather go to a lounge and hang out, or say like to go to a restaurant turns into a party or something.
I mean, personally, I would rather go to a restaurant that turns into a party where I'm not in a club, or like go to a bar, a dive bar. And I can't say the same for the kids. I don't know. I don't think club's a bad thing.
But I'm just saying, if you were to open up a new spot, right? Would you call it a club? Or do you think that term is kind of like when your parents used to say they used to go to the disco, and we used to be like, you're going to a, it's kind of like you're going to a disco. Is it a term that's kind of being like, is it starting to get old? Is it because like all like the younger, the Gen Zs are like, they're either gonna go to a rave, the afters, house party, lounge. Yeah. I just don't. Every time I say club, it feels like I'm getting some sort of negative, I don't know, not like feedback, but it's just not like something that's like, oh, that's cool. It's almost like it's, when things become like too popular or like played out, where you're like, oh, you're still wearing Yeezys. It's like, okay, that's, I feel like I'm slowly getting this feedback of like, when I say I'm like, I'm working at the club tonight, it's kind of like, oh, that's cute. Are they like, which club? Like a run club or book club? No, yeah. Gym membership? Gym club? Is it going to the gym? Is it like a Soul House type of club? Yeah.
I think it really depends on like who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And the age of that person. Like right now we're in like, I mean, this is me personally. I feel like we're in this phase of staying relevant or aging out, because like there's a whole new crop of people coming in, and they get just excited. So one thing that I've noticed at the clubs now here is they're starting to fuse in the kids that are doing the afters and the undergrounds and all that stuff, and now they're becoming legit promoters. The bigger clubs is, that's kind of, I don't think that they've hit that point, but the smaller clubs out here that are using these promoters, the new generation of promoters, they're turning these things into house parties. They're almost converting it into an organized version of the party that they were doing before they even started this club.
But they're not using the word club. It's what you're trying to say, or like what I'm interpreting is more of, hey, they're going to a party, not necessarily. And I also think that the word club has been so dated, because when if I tell you we're going to a club or someone, I'm picturing 4 dark walls and some moving lights. Like, it's not a full experience. It's just very like, this is what a club is. But
a lot of our clubs are turning into that. It's like minimal lights, as dark as you can.
Yeah, it's like red with like disco ball.
Yeah,
but I would consider that a lounge.
That's optional. The disco ball is optional.
That's what a lot of spots in New York.
That may or may not be there.
Would you say that's a lounge though at that point? I picture a club with like cryo and like,
I think those clubs are actually phasing out.
That's what I was trying to say.
I think they realize that they don't have to spend that much money to entertain people.
But so if you say, so now we can't,
or they have to go over the top and do an entire room of LED.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is the problem is going to be, now you can't separate the two, because there's a cool club, which is technically a lounge, and then there's the old club, which is the big production. So that's what I was trying to say, is like the word club kind of, does it give that kind of negative sense, or are people associating that with a lounge too?
I think now that I don't know if I'm going to answer this question right, but I feel like there's a separation between the two now.
People just want to party, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No. Like, people already, like, again, I can only speak for out here. People know their lanes. They know what they want. If it's the LED room, then they go to the bigger clubs, and that's probably usually what they do anyway. And then the other ones are like, oh, we could get what we want from the smaller.
Where are the cool kids going? Well, where are the cool kids going? That's because you could speak general audience, and they're going to go to what's been around, or just because they heard it's cool. But where I kind of see movements kind of coming from like a cooler group of people, and then it kind of, gets broader. Even that starts to break down into subgenres and stuff. But like, to name some of them, like Little Sister, Lucy's, the Palace, Paul's Casablanca. You consider those clubs or lounges?
It's almost like it's the same type of crowd. I don't.
About that,
I just call them parties.
Jeans. I went to that spot.
And jeans. They're just like mini clubs.
Yeah. I like those.
because like, even though they don't have lasers and cryo, they still do bottle service.
Yeah, but the environment's different though.
Music, and
they still have the door guy. They still have door woman.
Well, that's door.
And they still have the
one up really quick.
Yeah, and they still have the hazers. They just don't have lasers, and they don't have crowd guns, and they'll have function one.
Yeah,
they'll have
it could be a lounge. It's still a high-end lounge with all that stuff. You just don't need to have like the big LED screens and the cryo.
But if you see these kids going off, there is nothing that says lounge except a smaller room.
Yeah, but there was party lounges back in the day. You remember that?
That's back in the day, but we're talking about right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, you can still turn up at a lounge and dance on couches. You just don't need everything. What about, do you guys have a big rave scene? Like, I've slowly discovered in Chicago, there's a big underground rave scene that's like abandoned places. They're just doing pop-ups, and the younger kids are just kind of like, hey, fuck the $15, $17 drinks. I'd rather just turn up over here. And it's really all house music for the most part. We have a really big underground like house scene, rave scene that's been bubbling like crazy. Is that something that you guys are seeing in the West or the East?
They're not like illegal raves, but there's like little like warehouse parties, like like we used to do back in the days, like when I was coming up too. Like, it just
they're still organized.
They're definitely more organized than how we were back then. But there's a party I just came on my radar called Lick and Dip. And it's
that came on your radar. Yeah, sorry. That just so happened to come on your radar.
Carlisle was playing. He was from Texas.
Carlisle.
Yeah,
that's my dude.
Carlisle. And he like put me up on it. It's like, oh, never even heard of that party. But there's a bunch of those out here though. Well, I mean, Brownies and Lemonade was like a small warehouse rave, right? Like, and now they're a touring like party.
I've never heard of that.
What would be a good?
It's huge.
Yeah, I heard about that one too. They did something. They did a pop-up for something like a Super Bowl or something. I just remember seeing or some sort of big thing. What would be a good, if you guys had to say what genre would be, if you want to start your own party, what would be a good format to start your own party?
I mean,
if you had to pick one.
It's all been kind of done, right?
Well, has it though? But like you were just talking about indie and rock music coming back.
For me,
or, you know,
I probably do like a good music party where like just any kind of good, anything good, from rock to like R&B, like just, you know. And I think that's kind of like a theme of a lot of these parties. Like we talked about this before. Like a lot of these R&B parties probably play about 50% R&B, and half of it is probably like turn up, you know, shit. So
it's just basically Drake
it's a
singing
loose format. Yeah, it's a loose format.
I did like 143 like years ago, and I had like a whole like R&B set. Me and Rockticon did it, I think. I had a whole R&B set ready to go, and then like I remember like 30 minutes in my set, like one of the Soul Super Sounds like, yo, can you play Future? I'm like, what? And it kind of threw me off. I'm like, all right, I see that, you know, now I know, I get the energy. You can do like R&B and then here and there, R&B, and then you do one like, you know, like rap song, turn up, you know, hit, whatever, and then back to R&B. So, but yeah.
So loose format is what you're saying. So if they say format, it's like...
I would do like a good music party, you know, nostalgia, new, old, whatever. I wouldn't stick to one genre or one like style if I was to start one.
I honestly, I mean, I saw that in the run of show, and I really didn't know how to answer. I mean, my shit was indie rock.
Yeah.
So if I could go to like an indie rock set, I know that there is one. I think Equal actually played it at Electric Field, but I'm not exactly sure what the exact format was. But it feels like the indie rock that I know of, like
it's called. I think it was called.
I think it was Electric Field.
Oh, Electric Fields, yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was like dedicated to indie rock, but like my shit back in the day was like the Horror, the Strokes. I was like a huge Strokes fan. The Yeah.
What was that other genre? This was back in like, I would say like 05 or 06. Electro Clash, remember that?
Yeah, that was like with Ladytron.
What are you talking about? Like the blog?
It's like Peaches too, right?
No. Electro Clash was like Peaches.
Yeah, Peaches.
It was Felix the House Cat before the Felix the House Cat now. But he was
Felix the House Cat. I feel like he was like real like on some like classic house.
Yeah. But for a while he was like deep into the Electro Clash. It was him.
I wonder if I have any like genres listed. Hold on.
There was like a few people. Yeah, that had like a quick little set of time. It was like around the time that indie rock started to turn in. We called me and Millhouse used to call it.
You said the Rapture already?
The Rapture.
That was like the blog stuff though, like electro house and stuff, right?
No. Electro Clash was like it wasn't as like.
Was I sleeping during this whole genre? Like I don't have. Maybe I do have.
It wasn't huge, but it had its like moment.
Where did it come from?
New York, I think, New York? Or Europe or New York.
I think it was the UK. I think the UK put it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they're huge. His sweater made me like,
oh my god, who else was in that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Electro Clash was like, it was like a Italo disco. Like all of that was like late 90s, drifting into like 2000s. 2000. It probably ended around like 2008, somewhere around there.
Oh wow. What
Well, it
about
just disappeared.
what about I wanted to bring this up too. We were speaking about the Christmas music. When is it when are we allowed to play the holiday music? I think that I'm already hearing it at stores and restaurants and stuff like that, but I mean, is it too early to start playing Mariah Carey?
Man.
Really?
Is it after Halloween?
Fuck yeah.
That's when retail does it.
I mean, like, we're gonna play like what? You gonna play Thanksgiving music? Like, you just gotta go straight to Christmas. I mean, Four Color Zach stays playing Mariah Carey year round. So,
bro, I'm trying to hold off as long as I can.
I always go by.
I'll be the second best DJ that the person at the club ever heard. Like, he just never played Mariah. I'll be the second best.
I don't need to be number one. I'll be number two. I'm cool with that.
You won't play Mariah's?
The
best DJ ever played that shit.
The Mariah stuff, and like, yeah, I've heard people play it in the summers. This is going back to the seasonal stuff. I just can't get through. It has to be after Thanksgiving. I can't break out. All those.
You do
Christmas
one.
Records.
You got to give them at least 4.
Yeah. And then if you don't have somebody on the same page as you, like, last thing you want is a manager or somebody go like, yo, I don't like what you're doing here. You know, some people, it could be a Jewish room and they don't want any Christmas music, you know, and it's just one of those things. But
well, yeah, you're not gonna play Christmas music at the Bagel Ball.
I mean, you're not.
I should do that. I went to Christmas. I spent Christmas one year in New York. I just went and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I went to New York by myself. I think I hung out with you. I saw you, I think, and James, and I'm
usually here for Christmas.
Yeah, Jesse Marco was playing this party called the Bagel Ball with the Fat Jew, and I pulled up, and yeah.
Did it go? Was it crazy busy?
Yeah, it was popping.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, so we
but
come.
Look, I don't do Mariah, and I've never gotten fired or like taken off a schedule because I didn't play it, so I'm good.
Oh no, yeah,
like,
you can go. Yeah, no, you can do the. Go through Christmas.
Just don't play it at the Bagel Ball. That's a note that we got to put in the.
I don't know.
I
feel like
here.
that song though, that specific song, just crosses over. Like it's bigger than Christmas at that point.
Yeah, it's more. If I play it, be more for like a joke than anything, you know, and just fuck around. But
have you played it yet this year?
In my car, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much covers all of that. Don't forget, we have like listener questions. You guys can leave your comments and questions if you guys have any. Feel free to. Do we have an email address? Did we ever get that set up? I think we did, right? Where's our voice of God?
Yeah.
Where's our voice of God? Is he gonna?
Nah.
Earbuds at headlinermusicclub.com. Shout out to Eric Deluxe. He just walked in the building.
What up, Eric?
New HMC merch. Plug.
And big shout out to Fourth Meal.
Shout out to Fourth Meal.
They're all in the same podcast network,
yes,
so
sir.
we're all friends.
And also, I want to talk about. Want to give our condolences to our friends at the Road Podcast. Our community just suffered a great loss. Last week, we lost our boy DJ Neva. He passed away on the 5th, and yeah, man, it's been a tough week, you know.
You could also jumping on what he was saying is that there's a donation link.
I think you can go to Rhodes IG page and they'll have the link up. And,
it's right on top. Yeah, right in the bio section. You can donate.
Yeah, in the bio section. So
to help cover some of the funeral costs and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, truly a tragic.
Yeah, he was a good friend to all of us. Yeah, actually, you know what? I hung out with Nev at the Bagel Ball that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So every time we, like during Christmas, like he's always in New York. So when I'm out there, I would hit him up, and yeah, he would definitely be dearly missed, man. It's yeah, we're going through it right now. So
yes, donate if you can, and never forever. So
yes, sir. Never forever.
What else we got? Anything? Oh, we also we have the playlist too. Just want to mention that we have a playlist that all the music that we did discuss. Big shout out to James, who is helping us out a lot, Scratchy, and everyone behind the scenes that has been putting this together. We have a playlist on Spotify that you can hear all the music that we've discussed. So if you were like, hey man, what was that one record? Or, you know, what did they, you know, bring up, or I can't find that record? It's all on the Spotify playlist. It's called Earbuds playlist, right? I believe that's what it's. Yeah, Earbuds playlist. Anything else you guys gotta, you know, don't forget to leave comments too. Like, feel free to leave comments on our IG postings and stuff
Jerzy
like that.
with all the questions and shit.
Please.
Again, I got a lot of the backlash from Salt Lake City on the last one.
Especially people from Salt Lake, hit up Jerzy.
Yeah, I got to be back out there in December. I don't think it's be a warm welcoming, but
all the rich women.
I'm gonna get jumped.
Older women buying bottles. Hit up.
Yeah. Prove to him that there are females out there that make their own money that spend it.
This is gonna be really bad, but
they're like, damn, I don't understand why security's so thick in here.
Yeah, right.
Apparently
get a
they have
handbag thrown at me or
here.
something. Yeah, this is not going to be good. So, well, I just want to apologize in advance, but thank you guys for bringing that up and not having my back. But I think that's pretty much it. You guys have anything else? Or are we all good?
Yeah, we're good, man.
Yeah, we're good.
Any closing arguments?
Just thank you for listening, and be sure to leave comments. And you can rate us too. I didn't know there was a whole rating system on this whole
and
thing.
Subscribe.
Yeah,
or like us on YouTube. We're on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we are on YouTube. We are on Apple, Spotify. We're on all the podcast things, but we also have a video version. So if you want to stare at us being talking into our microphones and just staring at each other, it's available on YouTube. And that's pretty much going to do it. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next month.
Thank you, guys. Bye.